All right, welcome back, everybody, with another episode on the 44 Pod with your host, Mr. Hollywood himself, and my co host, Mr. Hernia, aka
Let's
Stays
go.
Herny, baby.
Yes, sir.
Hi, man. Herno, how we feeling, big dog? A lot has happened today specifically, but
Yep.
other than before we get into that, man, how you doing? Like, talk to me, big
Great.
dog.
Doing good. Long time no talk. Unfortunately, like it just, we're this guy's busy, man. Like this guy, just for people that, just a reminder, if it's your first time watching, this guy's not working a 9 to 5. Neither of us are working a 9 to 5. But Rigo is at the beck and call of people that have a lot of power in this world. So, you know, he's got to do what he's got to do. And, it is what it is. I'm glad we're back. And honestly, I, I think God rewarded us for not having a pod last week because he blessed us today. Today's June 1st, in case you're wondering. It should be uploaded by tomorrow. Um, but we got blessed today with, we love football as everyone knows, and we got fucking blessed with a lot of stories just today alone of actual football, and then some off the field stuff we'll probably dabble into a little bit later as well. Um, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm locked and loaded. I feel good. Um, yeah, I'm ready to roll.
Yeah, hey man, 100%. I couldn't agree with you anymore. It's like the football gods knew, like when the 44 pod was going to be on today, they said, you know what, let's give these boys some content. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, man. Before we get into that, a little bit about me, like Kern said, unfortunately, I got really busy every time we were trying to record. Trust me, we tried. Hearn definitely tried with me too. He was very flexible. But unfortunately, like I said, our schedule just got fucked up, so
Yeah.
we weren't able to. It is what it is, but we're here now. Um, but yeah, man, life's pretty good, like Kern said. Healthy and
That's all you can ask for,
grateful.
really. When you
Yeah,
when you you start approaching the threes, like when the threes start and this is the first number in your age, that's all you can really ask for is, hey, like just keep me healthy. Like don't give me any stupid injury. I don't want to pull anything. Shit like that. Like I think if as long as you're on the up and up, because as Rigo talked about, I think a couple pods ago, this guy is just not the same guy. His recovery's a little bit different. Takes him an extra day now.
dude,
Um,
does it fucking ever, bro?
so I
So
mean,
yeah, like
dude, there's some
yeah,
days I get up like and my shoulder bugs like my shoulder. I like I don't want to say like a disc. I didn't do anything serious to my shoulder in high school playing football, but like when you're like a lineman, when you're in the trenches, you're just using the fuck out of your arms and you're just getting jolted all the time. Especially me, like I got my ass whipped so much, so like my arms are just fucked. So like my shoulder, like every other day I wake up, my shoulder's cracking, like making all kinds of noises. The ankle, like when I walk, my ankle just fucking pops like nobody's business, like pop rocks in that bitch. Um, so
yeah.
glad my guy's healthy, and I mean, yeah, like I think we should just get right into it. I do want to let's get into the smaller trade. I think the big one's gonna be the one we're gonna talk probably at least 20 minutes, hopefully. Uh, we'll talk about the smaller trade. Obviously, it's a big trade, but the reason why I call it smaller is because it's pretty obvious. Like I think everyone's pretty much penciled this one in for I don't know since last year. It was the AJ Brown trade to the from the Eagles to the Patriots, and the Eagles got back I think a first and a third, or a first and a fifth, something like that. And then yeah, I think the Eagles got a first and a third, and the Pats got AJ Brown and a fifth. I mean, what are your first thoughts on that trade?
I mean, you kind of hit the fucking nail on the head or whatever, or the hammer on the head of the nail. Everybody knew, everybody knew this shit was gonna
Yeah,
happen. It was just a matter if, when, and how, and what for. Um, me, I thought it was gonna happen like during mid-season, to be honest with you. But part of me thought like the Eagles were gonna kind of like run it out like one last year, this year with AJ and like all the superstars they had on. They're like, fuck it, let's just see. But it didn't really make sense, right? Like, I mean, AJ was on there, didn't really, wasn't a 1,000 yard receiver. Um, and like everyone says, and even kind of like you see in the gameplay, Jalen Hurts is not a wide receiver to like really throw that rock around like how you would think he would. But it is what it is about that. So, um, AJ Brown going to the Pats was like obviously like again everybody knew that was going to happen. Um, And good for him. I mean, fucking Drake May as a star wide receiver for the next 2 years. And I say the next 2 years because I think this is his prime window right now as far as a wide receiver. I think he has 2 more years. Maybe if he keeps his body healthy and sustains no injury, maybe he goes for three. But I think he has 2 years with the Pats before he's gonna hang it up because um, I mean, he's not going to be that number one, and I'm sure the Pats are going to fucking draft another wide receiver to complement him, and then eventually he's going to take over. Do I kind of like the trade as far as what they got from him? I mean, the Eagles got another first round pick back, which is really good. Like you said, the third's pretty good too. And the Pats, they got obviously AJ Brown, and they only gave up a first for next year. And they were just in the Super Bowl. So yeah, I like the trade. No brainer. Everybody knew it. Not surprising. So it was okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think I like I said, I think knowing I think the who what and the who and what were pretty obvious. Like you said, I think the biggest thing was the compensation. I'm actually really surprised given what was traded. I'm really shocked that the Patriots didn't try to push and try to just trade pick 31 um instead of using a pick for next year because I mean I get it they drafted an offensive tackle and that was a need, but I almost feel like it would have been better off because hey, this is the second to last pick of the first. Like that pick next year, if there's an injury to Drake May or somebody important, like that could be a big pick. Like you're one injury away from that pick being a top 10 pick. So you are playing that little risk factor, but obviously I think Mike Vrabel feels like, hey, AJ Brown loved me in Tennessee, and I feel like I can get the most out of this team. I think we're a Super Bowl team, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
The compensation thought was pretty good. Like I said, it's just really that first round pick. It's just gonna be a risk. Like if they get bounced early or they don't make the playoffs or anything like that, then it's gonna be. I think the Eagles. A lot of people will be like, "Oh, the Eagles obviously won the trade." But I think if everything plays out the way everyone thinks, I think it's a pretty square deal. I'm really curious what the Eagles are gonna do. Obviously, Devontae Smith's there and they drafted a receiver, so that tells me Devontae Smith is receiver one, and Makai Lemon, they're gonna have to figure that out. He's gonna have to figure it out pretty quick, because I think
Um, yeah, they made some trades in the offseason or like free agency or whatever. Because I'm
yeah,
pretty sure Hollywood Brown's on that team, correct? Like I think they
I don't know.
two or something.
Let's say
Pretty
he is
sure.
like he's a receiver three, so or like a slot guy. So I mean, it's really I mean, there's no more excuses. Jalen Hurts, like bro, like they've obviously catered this receiver room to guys that he
Got
fucks
it.
with that he feels like are embodying what he wants. So it's kind of nut up or shut up time. Like you have one of the best running backs in the league. Your O line's really good. You got
Mm-hmm.
to make it happen
Mm-hmm.
now. Like there's no more excuses. It's time to prove everybody wrong. I think a lot of people think your Super Bowl's a fluke, and now's the time to do it. And for AJ Brown, for him, you got to prove people wrong too. I think a lot of people think you're a shitbird, you're a fucking joke, and you don't care about football enough. Yeah, I mean, I'm just being serious. Like, you think about it, like when
Yeah.
people talk about AJ Brown, they talk about, oh, like, he was on the sideline reading a book and, this and that. And it's like, let's get back to football. Like, if you want to be regarded as and maybe he doesn't care, but I think if for him, there's got to be some type of pride. Play for the name on the back of your jersey too, right? And I think this is a good opportunity for him to do it. And obviously, like I said, Mike Vrabel and him have some history. They were together in Tennessee, so. Um, I would assume some of these things that he was doing with the Eagles will subside, but um, yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah. I think also the Eagles are kind of put themselves in the spot. Like, I mean, they did draft a wide receiver in the first round, Makai Lemon, like you said, which is going to be a rookie, and he definitely has to prove himself. Uh, yeah, I think that Eagles team is a they gotta make it all the way. To be honest with you, I definitely feel like the pressure's on for them.
Yeah,
So we'll see what they do with that. But moving forward,
yeah,
let's talk about the major trade here, which
yeah.
is I called Hearn, by the way, like right away. Like when I seen this fucking trade, I was in bed and I'm like, dude, what in the actual fuck just happened? And that trade is Myles Garrett going to the Los Angeles Rams.
Crazy. It's crazy,
Well,
dude.
I that hands down is the craziest trade. I think that's way bigger than when Max Crosby went to the Ravens. Like, because everybody knew that Max was gonna get traded. It's just a matter of like what team he was gonna go to. So it was a shocker, but it wasn't like holy fuck. This one was a holy fucking fuck. Like
This was
Miles.
like a combination, like because there was some stuff being floated around. I want to say it was today, Monday. There was some stuff being floated around. I think Friday or Thursday night about like like the Browns and Myles Garrett, like just rumors basically about like he could be possibly traded because of cap and this and that. And it's one of those things when you see it, especially with the big player. Like this guy's to me, this guy could probably get a gold jacket tomorrow if he was like, fuck it, I'm retiring. He could probably be a Hall of
Hell
Famer.
yeah, you could.
I don't think he.
Absolutely.
I don't think he'd be a first ballot guy just because he doesn't have like the Super
The
Bowl and there's
ring.
some things he's missing. But I think for most people, he's a Super Bowl or a Super Bowl. He's a Hall of Fame player. So I think so. Obviously, when when you see stuff like that, it's kind of like there's no way. Like that's not happening. Like it's just rumors. And then you started hearing more and more and more. And it's kind of like, well, maybe there's a little smoke here, but I don't think anything's going to get done like quick. And obviously, it was pretty quick because for a lot of people, for people that don't know, like with contracts in the NFL, there's two big dates. There's the start of the league year, which is typically like March 13th, let's say, or March 12th. 2 days after
Yeah.
that start date, a lot of bonuses and guaranteed money kicks in. The second big day is June 1st because teams like if AJ Brown's a perfect example. If the Eagles would have traded him before June 1st, they would have been on the hook for $50 million. And they wouldn't have been able to trade for the edge rusher they got from the Vikings. But because they waited until today, they're not on the hook for I think it's 28 million or some number like that. And so that's what was happening with the Browns is June 1st, they were going to be on the hook for an extra 30 million to Myles Garrett and they couldn't afford that. Like they just don't have the cap room for it. And I think obviously I think it's safe to say as of today, June 1st, 2026, the Cleveland Browns do not have a franchise quarterback. So I think they had to do some. I think they had to look in the mirror a little bit and be like, hey, like, are we really going to be just a playoff team, not even a Super Bowl contender? Are we going to be a playoff team for Myles Garrett before he's 33? And the answer is probably no. I think they're on their way there. Um, but I think it's kind of like the Raiders. Like I think by the time they are there, it's probably a little too late. And so I think they went into it and said, "Hey, let's try to find the best deal." Now, before we talk about the other side with the Rams, like out of the teams that were rumored, I think it was the Rams, the Eagles, and there might have been another team. Now, obviously, as a Niner fan, he's going to say the Rams were going to be worst case scenario. I think if he would have went to the Eagles, I think that would have been fucking bad news for the NFL because I think they would have just parted away with a bunch of picks and they would have like tried to keep all their defensive linemen and it would have been Myles Garrett, Grenard that they picked up from the Vikings, and then Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. Like that's a fucking bruiser of a D line that you got to go through. Um, but yeah, let's flip to the other side with the Rams. Obviously, they gave the Browns a first round pick next year, a second round pick, I think the year after, and then a third round pick 2 years from now, and Jared Verse who's I think this is his third year in the NFL. He was a defensive rookie of the year. Kind of had a down year last year compared to what he was as a rookie. Um, but I think he's like 25, like really young player. What are your thoughts on what the Browns got? Do you think they got enough?
Um, I want to say they didn't, just because of the caliber of player that Miles Garrett is. If I was the Browns, I would ask for two first and Jared Verse and a fifth. I think that would have been sustain. I would have been okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they like you said, they did get a first round. They got Jared Verse and they got like a second and third, whatever the fuck. Honestly, I would have just I would ask for two first. I just think that. Um, for what Myles Garrett is. I would have I would ask for a little bit more, and I think the Rams would have done it regardless. I mean, whether they would have taken it or not, I would 100% believe that the Rams would have done it. Like, fuck it, let's give two first, Jared Verse, and a fifth. I would say fuck the second and third because I could turn that fifth into something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To me, I think the whole trade in general though is fucking crazy. I still can't believe it. Like the Rams are obviously arguably the favorite to win the Super Bowl, and like no
Yeah.
doubt that they are probably gonna win the Super Bowl. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean that D line is gonna be fucking crazy. But
Hmm.
um there's obviously that window as well as far as can the Rams figure it out? Because I mean there could be a lot of players, a lot of good players on the team, but like, are they actually gonna play well?
I think
And it's kind
I
of
think it's
stupid to think that, but yeah.
I was just gonna say, I think it's this year or bust. Like, I think Puka's still on his rookie deal. Like, you're gonna have to pay him if if you decide, hey, this is the guy. You're still paying Devontae. You're just paid Stafford again, who probably saved you a little money on the back end. Like, that's why he did the extension that they did. Um, and there's a good amount of young guys that they're gonna have to re-sign. Like, I think two of the four starters they're going to be up for contracts. I think next year or the year after. So, this team is going to get really expensive really quick. Um, so I think it was smart. Like I said, the Stafford window. I think we know he's got a year, maybe two at best, and that's why they picked Ty Simpson. I think the Ty Simpson pick for all the shit that they got for that pick. I think they look really smart now because I think Les Snead at least knew. I don't know if McVay was really on the ends on this, but I think Les Snead knew like, hey, I'm not planning on having first rounders in the next couple years, so let's take advantage of having this high pick and let's get a quarterback and fuck. Hopefully we can keep it going. Um,
Yeah.
I think if I was the Browns, I almost would have asked instead of next year's first. I think I would have asked for a first like 2 years from now because it's
Yeah.
almost right because it's almost a lot like it's like we just talked about. Like it's almost a guarantee. I don't want to call it a guarantee because there is no guarantees in the NFL. But I think it's safe to say that the Rams' first rounder can be between like 26 and 32. And I think if you would have said, hey, like give us your 2029 first instead, like if you got to choose one first, I almost think they should have went backwards. Like, hey, we'll take a third next year, the second from 2 years from now, and then your first 3 years from now, and kind of bank on the fact that they're not the same team by then. I think the Rams would have did the deal no matter what because their philosophy is like the draft picks, yeah, they're valuable, but we think we can win now. And the last time they really went all in like this, they won the Super Bowl, so it's kind of hard to argue against that fact. Um, and then, like I said, for the Browns, I think the value was fair. I think it really depends on what you think of Jared Verse. If you think, like to me, I think he could be an All Pro guy. I don't know. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of Ram football as it was, so I'd have to like really look at him play. I think his ceiling would be like a second team All Pro guy, but I think his floor is a Pro Bowler, like a multi-year Pro Bowler. So I think if you think he's a really good player and you think he can be an All Pro, a Hall of Fame guy, then I think the value that they got was really good. I think if you think he's an average to Pro Bowl player, then I think yeah they could have asked for a little bit more. I'd really like to know if what other teams offered like I mentioned, the Eagles. I think the Eagles package would have been interesting. I'm sure they would have tried to like put AJ Brown in it or something. But um, yeah, I think it's tough. I feel for the NFC West. Like if you're a fan of an NFC West team, that sucks. It sucks that you're gonna have to play a Hall of Famer twice a year. I was just talking. Shout out to Dre, by the way. Just talked to him right at the end of practice. Also, he said, Rigo, I think he said quit being soft or quit being something like that. Quit being soft or quit being a sissy or something like that. So that's for you, Rigo, from Dre. Um, but yeah, I
Sounds like
think
Dre.
I think like we were just talking about it, and like like the Niners got fucked. Like we talked about it at length. I think about week one with the Australia game. Um, you know, getting that, and now you got to deal with Myles Garrett. I
Week one. I forgot about that. Fuck. We play the Rams week one in the
yeah, like
NFL. And you just got Myles Garrett, dude. Like if
that's
you
gonna
if
be must see television. Like Trent Williams versus Myles Garrett, week one in Australia. It doesn't get fucking better than that. Um,
you know what's crazy about that? I still think that the Niners dominate that game. And then it's not even the fact that like obviously like I don't know. It's not because like it's stupid confidence. I just think that the Niners defense. So like all right, to put it in perspective, right? And I'm not even trying to like super glaze the 49ers, even though I'm a 49er fan and I'm gonna slightly glaze them a little bit, right? The Niners defense last year got walked down. No doubt about that. They got walked down like pretty much every game because like I mean there was no fucking actual starters on that D line or besides like the secondary kind of, right? Now, um I do like a sleeper pick trade that the Niners made was Osa Digizua from the Cowboys, right? That
I like
dude,
that trade too.
a lot of things that have been coming out from the Niners camp and like my ears to the ground when it comes to the 49er training camp, right? Because I let her know like off of the fucking the pod like, hey man, this is what I'm kind of hearing. Again, me and her talk all the time, right? So from what I heard is Oza Digazua, right? That was a sleeper pick that no one's really talking about. That kind of flew under the radar, like, oh, like it's just another dude. That dude, from what I've been hearing from training camp, that guy is a difference maker on that D line. And Romello Heights, that's another defensive lineman that is gonna be a baller. And the fact that like I think this is Nick Bosa's last year with the 49ers, whether some people want to believe that or not. I think I called it last time we spoke. I'm like, I think it's time to move off of Nick Bosa. Just because like this dude is injury prone like a motherfucker. Third ACL injury, like it's time to move on. Anyways, right? That 49ers D line this year is gonna be sleeper good because of all these guys are coming back and all the much we invested into the D line and now everyone's gonna be together all at one time and then Fred Warner is coming back and Drake Greenlaw's I wouldn't say he's gonna be the same player, but he is back and is a difference maker. Just a hype man off of Fred Warner. So just based off all that sort of stuff, I think the Niners defense is gonna give the Rams a hard fucking time in Australia. I mean, granted, the Rams defense is gonna be fucking a mean motherfucker, but Jared Verse, to answer your question, like what people value, because I think a lot of people are like, he's flying under the radar as far as what the Browns got. Jared Verse is, I think, an all pro, honestly. I think on that D line for the Rams, he was a difference maker. Like, and I believe that like if you're a difference maker on your team, what position you play, um, you're worth the first round pick if people are gonna trade for you. Like I think if Jared Verse went on a different team, he's gonna be a difference maker on that team. So, um, yeah, but that's why I believe that the Niners are gonna still win that game in Australia by like 2 or 3 touchdowns. Yep.
I was being quiet so I could put in like a laughing track there. So, um, but I think I mean we'll see. I think we got a lot of off season to get through. I think it's kind of like I said earlier, like when we talked about uh Mendoza, like it's
Love
just kind of hard.
Mendoza. Love what I've been seeing. All pro. He's an all pro.
I think it's just kind of hard to to be like, oh, he's gonna be this or that when they're in shorts and they're in shells, at the most, and I just think it's kind of tough to kind of see where your team's at. I think after probably the first preseason game, we'll see. Um, like Rigo talked about earlier, we talked about this. I really didn't want to get too into it with him because I didn't want to like regurgitate what I said with him on the phone on this. And so like, we kind of talked about it briefly. And the one thing I told him was like the Rams, obviously they're Super Bowl contenders. They're favorites now. I think they're like plus 600 to win the Super Bowl, which is the highest odds in the NFL at the moment. Um, but it's on Stafford. Like it's Stafford or bust. Like if that guy's not healthy, I think they're going to be in trouble. Obviously, they drafted Ty Simpson, but I don't think they have any plans to let him see the field year one. So it's going to be really up to Stetson Bennett uh, Oh yeah, it's just Stetson Bennett because Jimmy G's gone, I think. So, I mean,
Yeah,
it's really
yeah.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
think if there's an injury to Stafford, it's going to be up to Stetson Bennett to just kind of be decent and let them, win games via the run game and their defense. And that was another thing I talked about too earlier, or after practice today with one of the coaches is like, or the OC. Shout out to the OC. Um, but like we talked about it, and I was telling him that last year, like look at the playoff games last year for the Rams. If they have Myles Garrett against the Bears, that game probably doesn't go to overtime, right? Like I think and I could be wrong. Caleb maybe makes that freak play, and they still go to overtime. But with Myles Garrett, that game probably doesn't go to overtime. They probably just win it in the four quarters. The Seahawk game, I think Myles Garrett's coming off the edge. I don't know if that game's as um I that game could be another flip of the coin. Like it could have been like that overtime game that they had earlier in the regular season, and not necessarily like the Seahawks kind of pulling away late. Um, so I think that was kind of their reasoning behind it, and it makes sense. Obviously, like you get an opportunity to get a first ballot Hall of Fame edge rusher who's only 31. Like I think realistically, he's probably got 2 years at this level, and then he's probably got 2 more years after that, 3 more years after that of being like an average player before retiring. So now my question to you, Rigo, and I really, really want you to take your bias out of it.
All right, let me hear it.
If Aaron Donald says I'm coming back,
Oh fuck.
is the league in trouble?
Dude, absolutely. I did see that. I did see something on Twitter about like something they tweeted back a while ago. If Aaron Donald comes back,
Cooked.
dude, I'd tell you right now, I don't give a fuck who Patrick Mahomes is, what that guy thinks he does. That Rams team,
Someone's gonna have to make
unstoppable.
like literally someone would have to make like a super like you're gonna have to build a super team of some sort. Like you're gonna have to trade for an offensive tackle. I don't know what team would ever do that, but like you're gonna have to build some kind of crazy ass team to combat it because man
But
that
to yeah, but to answer to add on what you said, because this was a question I had been thinking about for like a couple days now, right? As far as like what makes teams great, as far as like what they have and what they're capable of doing without what they have, right? And you hit it kind of on the nail as far as like, okay, if Matthew Stafford gets hurt on that team, what is that team without that quarterback, right? And the
yeah
same thing with Kansas City. What is Kansas City
yeah.
without Patrick Mahomes, right?
You
And
can
that's
ask
when I
that
feel
question.
like,
I was just real quick. Like, you can ask that question for every team in the NFL. By the way, like, I just obviously it's a little bit more obvious with the team like the Rams, but you can literally ask that question for any team. Like, even the Raiders. Like the Raiders, obviously we know the QB room's shit, but like, what would the Raiders do without Mendoza and Kirk Cousins? Fucking nothing. Like, they're not winning a fucking game. I love AOC, but they're probably winning maybe 2 games at the most. So, obviously, like Enrico's like mentioned Mahomes and look at the Bengals. Like the Bengals, that's why they kept Joe Flacco. Like they're shit without Joe Burrow. It's obvious. Like, and they're average with Flacco. And so, like, you gotta be, you gotta find another identity as a team. Like, you cannot be just, oh, that's our guy. And if he goes down, we're fucked. Like, if you're operating like that as a team, and Rigo's probably gonna like touch on that right now. Like, you're screwed. Like you cannot be just a one identity. You got to be kind of multi identity um, for those reasons. But go ahead. I didn't mean to like allow or fucking drag on.
nah,
Go for it.
nah, you're totally fine. I am gonna hit on it a little bit. Like this is what I mean, like as far as and pretty much what I'm trying to get at is like, okay, like you lose your starting quarterback, right? Is your team good enough to continue to win? And so like in my head, right? And for everyone listening and or watching on whatever platform you're watching this, I want you to put it in perspective, right? Your team loses their starting quarterback, right? Now, what team do you think is actually going to make the playoffs and win a Super Bowl, right? And so fucking I'm gonna start with the AFC East, right? And I just thought about something like again, I had been thinking about this for a couple of days. And the AFC, you got the Patriots, the Bills, and Dolphins and Jets, right? all these starting quarterbacks go down. What team do you think is actually going to win? Be on top of that fucking division? Um, for me, the Patriots, they got Drake May, and they're kind of ass after that. I don't think they got a quarterback after that. I don't think they win that many games. Do the Bills? I think out of all those teams, I think the Bills are the best team. And then after the Bills, I got the Patriots, Dolphins, and Jets. That's how I would rank them. I don't know how you would. I don't. I'm not gonna ask Curry because I'm not gonna put him on the spot here. I just want to throw this out there so we can revisit this on the next pod and talk about it. Um, and again, for the AFC North, you got the Steelers, Ravens, Bengals, and Browns. Um, honestly, I think the Browns is on top of that division if all these quarterbacks get hurt. Because I mean, I only say that because the Browns have a fucking bell of fucking quarterbacks that they got. They got fucking just look at that roster. I think they're good on whatever if a quarterback gets hurt. So I would put the Browns number one. I got the Steelers number two, the Ravens number three, and the Bengals last. I think the Bengals are a fucking ass organization, franchise, and everything about them is ass without fucking Joe Burrow. AFC South, you got the Jags, Texans, Colts, and Titans. I think you got the Texans at number one. Um, I want to say you got the Colts number two, Titans number three, and the Jags last. AFC West, you got the Broncos, Chargers, Chiefs, and Raiders. I, f- this one's gonna be controversial. Hearn's gonna be like, "Oh, you're a little biased," or whatever the fuck. I actually think the Raiders. I think the Raiders would be in a good spot at number one because you got fucking Kirko Cousin. He goes down. You got a rookie in Freddie Mendoza. Mind you, no one knows what he looks like. No one knows what he's gonna be. So that's why he's kind of like my unicorn at number one because the guy ends up turning really fucking good. Obviously, that's really good for the Raiders, or he's ass. We don't know yet, right? And number two, I want to say you got the Chargers, and then you got the Broncos and the Chiefs last. Obviously, you see what happens when the Chiefs didn't have fucking Patrick Mahomes. They're dog shit. Um, and then hold on, let me pull up the fucking uh NFC West. Sorry guys, I'm kind of really going on here. All right, NFC East, you got the Eagles, Cowboys, Commanders, and Giants. I think a team that would be on top of that, I still think it'd be the Cowboys. I mean, not the Cowboys, the Eagles. Um, damn. I think you got the Eagles. I want to say fuck it, the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys would still be solid, and the Giants and Commanders. Um, I think the Commanders are ass without Jaden Daniels. So we'll see. I'm not saying Jackson Dart's any better or the Giants are any better, but I think they're slightly better than the Commanders. NFC North, you got Bears, Packers, Vikings, and Lions. I got the Vikings number one. I think the Vikings would fucking dominate that division if their starting quarterback got hurt, like JJ McCarthy. If he got hurt like he always does, then you got Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's been in the league for 8 years now, so you would hope that he would do better. And then I got the Lions, Packers, and the Bears. I got the Bears last just because of that Caleb Williams. I think they'll be dog shit. NFC South, Panthers, Bucks, Falcons, and Saints. Um, I want to say you got fuck. This one's hard because these teams are all ass. Um, I'm gonna say Tampa one, Falcons two, Carolina three, and Saints last. Now the NFC West. Now you guys are gonna think I'm fucking biased as shit here. But it is what it is. You can take it how it is. Just look at what we were able to do. I got the Niners number one because third, fourth, fifth string quarterback, man, they're gonna win some games regardless. Uh, and then fuck, I got the Cardinals. I got the Cardinals number two. Because you got Jacoby Brissett still on that team, even though he hasn't showed up for practice, and then you got a rookie that you just drafted. So, some promising things there. And then I got Seattle number three and the Rams last because I think with that Matthew Stafford, the Rams are kind of ass. But yeah, man, that's what I would think would happen, um, or how I would place these teams on whether if their starting quarterback got hurt and they had to win some games today. Um, I mean, I don't know if we're gonna kind of like look back at it and give it a list of like take a screenshot and just put them all in order, whether we do it or not. But yeah, Aaron, what'd you think about that?
I think the AFC, I'd probably agree with you on all of them, but the AFC West, I think you're a little disrespectful to Justin Fields. I think, I think
Oh
Justin, I
shit,
think
I forgot
just,
about that.
I think
Fuck.
Justin Fields with
Yes, you're
Andy
absolutely
Reid.
right.
I think that's probably
Yeah,
my number. I
yeah,
think they're number one. I appreciate
yeah,
like the Glaze, but I think we're number two at best. I really think Justin Fields
yeah. Okay, yeah, you're right.
with
Yeah,
an
you're
actual
right. You're
competent
absolutely
OC.
right.
Um, just him running the ball, like not even him having to throw. Like I think just him running the football. Like I think it'd be good enough to get them by. Um, the NFC, I think he completely went off the rails. I think you're like the NFC East, the disrespect, the Marcus Mariota disrespect. I won't stand for it. I think he's a really good backup QB in the NFL. I don't even know who the Cowboys' backup is, so the fact that you have him number two is kind of crazy to me. Oh, it's Jalen Milrow, right? Yeah, that guy's fucking ass.
Mm.
No, not Jalen Milrow. Joe Milton. Joe Milton's the fucking backup for the Cowboys. I think he's ass. Couldn't even hang in Michigan, bro. You think he's gonna? Come on, dog. What are we talking about? Anyways, so I think the NFC East, like
Mind you, these were just teams right off the top of my
the
right off top
NFC, the
rip. It was just
NFC
something that
South, the Andy Dalton disrespect. I won't stand for it. He
guys butt
deserves.
cheeks, guys cheeks. What are we talking about here? I'm
He
not
beat
even
the
gonna try to
Raiders.
glaze them guys ass.
Dude, he beat the
Oh, you
Raiders.
beat the
Just, I
Raiders.
mean,
Do you want me to pull?
hey,
Come
that
on,
team was
brother.
fucking nasty. But
The Raiders are 3-14. What are we talking about? Like, come on, dude.
but
No,
the
I will,
Tua,
I will, I will
I
agree
won't
with you
stand.
on the Chiefs one though.
I won't stand for Tua and Penix disrespect.
Fuck,
I think
fuck. I forgot Tua win a. Yeah,
they're way
yeah. You
better
know what?
than
I
they're
do.
better than the Bucks. So I can't.
Yeah,
I gotta.
yeah.
You gotta
You
stand.
know
You
what?
stand up
With
for.
some.
Hey, you gotta stand up for what you believe in, or you're gonna fall for anything. So I just couldn't let you just
Yeah,
like end it
you're
like
right.
that.
You're right. You're
Um,
absolutely right. I probably should revisit the NFC South. I would have, mind you guys, like right off top rip is just something I fucking just spazzed out. I was like, yo, I need to push this out there because I think in hindsight though, like
I've
I think
actually
it's a good thing to think about in the sense of like what team would actually win without their starting quarterback. You know what I mean?
I I agree. I think the worst team's the Bucks myself. I think the Saints actually like
Yeah.
could be pretty respectable. And then the NFC West, I actually would switch. I just don't. Nah, the Cardinals aren't second. Um,
What?
fuck no. I'd rather take Jalen Milrow over. Yeah, I'd take Jalen Milrow over Carson
All
Beck.
right. How would you risk the list? Sorry, not risk. List the NFC West. Then tell me what team you would pick.
Niners are
And
first.
don't even.
No, no, no.
Okay.
Niners are first. Like Mac Jones. I think we joke. I jokingly said
Mac
like
Jones should be a starter.
he
Yeah.
should have been the starter. Yeah. So
No, no,
um,
yeah. We were definitely on par with that.
I agree. I think Niners are one. I would have the Seahawks two. Just because like I just don't think you can. I just don't know what we're gonna get with Carson Beck. And if you're saying Carson Beck's the starter and Jacoby Brissett's the backup, I just think we kind of saw what that looked like last year. And I think Jalen Milrow, and this is strictly just potential talk. Like we don't really know what Jalen Milrow is going to be, but I think he's got all the potential in the world to be a really, really good backup. So I would put him two, then the Cardinals, and then the Rams. So it's not that far off. I just thought the NFC South one was fucking egregious. Like that was terrible. I would go
Yeah,
Falcons
yeah. No,
one,
I agree. I
Falcons
agree. I agree
one.
with you on that.
I'd go Panthers two. I know you don't like that. Um, and then I'd go Saints, Bucks, and then the East I would do Eagles because I think Tanner McKee's gonna be is a really good backup. So I'd go Eagles,
Commanders.
Commanders, Cowboys, Giants. I love Jameis. Don't get me wrong. I love Jameis. I love Jabu, but um, I just
Jabooby.
I think
Jabooby.
if he's playing QB for the Giants, they're probably cooked. Um, so that's and then the North. The North one's tough because I don't really
Wait,
know.
no, 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 no. You're giving it up. I want you to come up with like, all right. So obviously mine was off top rip. not so much analysis as far as like because there was like again the Falcons definitely slipped my mind as far as like I forgot Tua went there. So mine's off top rip. We're gonna post my list against Hearns, but Hearn, I'm gonna give you time to really go through your guys and you tell me what you
No,
think.
I can
Um,
do it. I can do it off rip. I just like um I'm just gonna be guessing a little bit, but um fuck. I think the
you can't see what
Tyson.
I'm saying. You got to
No,
you just got to
I think I
speed
got
through it
no,
like I did.
no. I think I got it.
All right,
Like I think
right
the
off top rip. Let's go.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Vikings
Start
one. I
with
think. I think the Vikings are. It's pretty similar to like what you said about or how we were talking about the Falcons. Like I think those are basically two starting quarterbacks. Just a matter of which one's going to be less ass.
yeah.
Actually, before I keep going on the list, have you seen them both throw like at practice and stuff? Have you seen the clips of that?
I didn't see the clip of them throwing. I saw the clip of them talking about each other. Like Kyle
Okay,
Murray's like, "Yo, I fuck with JJ," and JJ was like, "Nah, bro, this shit awkward as fuck. I don't want nothing to
because
do with this dude."
I'm gonna be honest, JJ looks fucking way better than Kyler Murray. Like
Does he?
JJ mechanically looks a lot like he's actually cleaned some stuff up. Like he's actually been kind of like locked in, you know. Kyler looks like
Well,
same old
yeah,
Kyler, like just same old Kyler. So, but yeah, I think they're one. Like it's pretty obvious. Um, I think if this would have been last year, I'd probably put the Packers two. Um, but
yeah. You got
obviously they
fucking yeah,
lost. They lost Malik. So the Packers are gonna be three for me. I'm gonna put. I think the Tyson Badgett disrespect. I think it's how you say his last name. I think that's. I think you're really disrespectful to him. He's another good quality backup. I got the Bears two, and then the Lions four because I don't know off the top of my head their backup. So it'd be Vikings, Bears, Packers, Lions for the NFC North. And then
yeah.
really like I said, besides the AFC West, I thought. Um, where did you have the Colts? Did you have the Colts like two?
I think so. Yeah, I
Okay.
did. I did pick him. I picked him
Yeah,
too.
could safely say they're going to be like three or four. AR5 is fucking garbage. He shouldn't even be in the league. He should be playing running back or tight end. Um, but yeah, I think Texans are one. That's an obvious one. Davis Mills, like, I mean, he looked fucking pretty good last year when CJ was out. So I think they were an obvious one. Um, I would put the I'd put the Jags two, Colts three, and then the Titans four. Um, and then yeah, I think the rest. Oh, the North. Okay, the North. You had the Browns one. I don't know how you have Pittsburgh two. I love. Don't get me wrong. I love A Rod. I love me some A Rod. But Will Howard and fucking Drew Aller. Fuck no. There's no way
Hey,
those guys
look.
win. Those. There's no
Okay,
way those guys
again,
win more than
off
three
the top,
games.
off the top dome. I
Hell
didn't
nah.
really fully analyze like, yo, these two
Hell
would be
nah.
quarterbacks, right? I'm just like, fuck it, run it through, baby.
So I would say Browns one, Bengals two, because I love Flacco. Um, God, do I want to troll? That's the question. Do I want to troll? I'm gonna troll. I got the Ravens three and the Steelers four. And the reason why I know what people are like, why is he saying does he want to troll? Because the Ravens got Diego fucking Pavia, baby. So I'm gonna
Oh
Yeah,
shit, yeah.
got Diego Pavia, keeps him out of
Wait,
four.
I did put Ravens at three, right? I did. Yeah, I did put
I
Ravens
couldn't
at three.
remember.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
forgot.
because you had the Bengals last.
Yeah,
So I would just swap
yeah.
the Bengals and
Bengals.
Steelers. The East is tough because I think you're pretty spot on. Like obviously, I think the Jets Dolphins are both last. Like I don't care what order you put them in. Like they're both actually the Dolphins are going to be three because they got Quinn Ewers or Malik Willis depending on how that goes. So
Yeah.
I don't think you can't really go wrong there. They're going to be better than either Jets backup. Um, yeah, I guess yeah. I think as a team, like if it was just like, hey, like, do you think they could win games and get to the playoffs? I think the Patriots actually are better built to do that. But that's not what we're trying to figure out. We're just basically ranking like the backup QBs. So I
Yeah,
would agree. I would
that's what
agree
I'm
with
saying.
you. I would agree
Yep.
with you. The Bills are one. Pats can be two. Um, and then yeah, and then you guys heard my AFC West one. So I don't really think we're that far off. I think now if we're just
It's just
talking
like
like
onesies and twosies. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's nothing crazy. Like I think, and that's like I think for you, like I mean, let's be honest. Who really follows backup QBs? Like unless you rely on a backup QB every year, like you guys do, like you don't know the fucking backup quarterback. No one does. You're only going to
Yeah.
worry about the starter. So, um, but yeah, I don't think it's a crazy. I don't think we had that crazy of a difference overall. So, um, but yeah, I was actually I didn't even think about like that's actually like we should do that closer to the like obviously we already did it for this year basically. So, I like to like revisit this like middle of the season and see like if we were right or wrong. With injuries and like obviously if there's injuries and stuff, but so overall, I think we can both agree. I think we both agree that as of today, the Browns Rams trade's a win-win. Correct?
Yeah. I think they both won on that trade. Would have
Yeah,
liked to
I
see a
think.
little bit more from the Browns, but I
Yeah,
mean, I still think
that's
they
fair.
won. So
Yeah. We can. I guess we can just briefly. We got a little bit more time left. We'll just briefly kind of touch on these two topics. Like I mentioned earlier, there's some kind of off the field stuff that happened over the last week and a half. The first one, as you guys know, we don't like to get too political here, so this will be pretty brief. Now, obviously, I don't know if you saw Jackson Dart introduced President Trump
yeah, I did
at
see
a
I did
rally
see
or
that.
whatever it was, and Abdul Carter obviously felt some type of way. He tweeted about it. Later on, he deleted it. I guess my question to you, I guess there'd be two questions. The first one would be, um, do you think Jackson Dart did anything wrong? If so, why? Or if not, why? And then the second question would be, do you think Abdul Carter went about it the right way? And what would you have done differently if you were in his shoes?
I'm gonna answer your two questions in one with one answer.
Great. Love it.
Again,
Love it.
we're not here to get political in any sort of way or anything like that. So, all I'm gonna say, um, people have their opinions. People believe in what they believe in, and whether you agree with it or not, you as a individual are again against another individual are in no place to tell that person on what they should and shouldn't believe in. And if you feel some type of way about it, that's cool. It doesn't mean it's going to change the other person's opinion or make them look at it any different way, whether you're at a held at a higher spotlight or a lower spotlight. Again, at the end of the day, um, people have their own opinions and their own beliefs, and it is what it is. If your feelings are going to get hurt about it, I think you should look at yourself and if you really feel that strongly about it, then you should, as an individual, try to make a difference in any way you can on whether what things that you believe in. And the same thing goes in for the other person. Obviously, one person did what they did because that's what they feel strongly about. At least that person is making it known and they've decided to do whatever they wanted to. As to another person, felt some type of way and all that person did was talk about it instead of be about it, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that's all I'm gonna leave it at that.
Fair enough. I think, like I said, we're not going to get too crazy into this. I think for me, like, I don't think Jackson did anything wrong. I think when you look at it, like, let's flip sides here. Let's say this was Tom Brady and President Biden invited him up to the White House to a rally, and the same thing happened. I don't think. I think there would be people that would be on the team, obviously, that would be like, oh, like what the fuck, And if they tweet about it, great. But I just feel like it's one of those things where it's like, hey, the president of the fucking U.S., the United States, forget who the individual is. The president of the United States is inviting you to do something for him. And it wasn't like he was at some. It wasn't like he did any. I don't think he did anything wrong. He literally just read his name, hyped up the crowd, and that was it. Like pretty harmless. Um, I just think like I don't think it should be viewed as a big deal. Now, if you would have said all kinds of like um divisive things and like tried to like incite people, that's a whole other conversation. Regardless, everyone has the same rights, the same freedoms. Um, and so I think either way, like you should be free to do. as you please as long as you're within the letter of the law. And then for Abdul Carter, I just feel like, time and place. I think that should have been a conversation to have behind the scenes before you voiced your displeasure. Um, but that's just me. Like, I just feel like there's time and place for everything, and I don't think going on the X and tweeting out your feelings and using it as a journal basically isn't the best step forward. But it is what it is. I think if, like I said, if the roles were reversed and it was someone going to a Democrats president rally or whatever, I'm sure no one would say anything. But it is what it is. And then the other off the field thing, Josh Jacobs, former Raider, current Green Bay Packer running back, was arrested last week for 5 counts of basically assault or DV, domestic violence. I'm not too sure if it's against his girlfriend or his fiance or whatever, or if it's against like some other woman. But basically, he was arrested for that, and then the DA, that county's DA, basically, it looks like they didn't drop the charges, but they basically said we're not going to pursue these charges at the moment. Doesn't mean that later on they could change their minds if they get evidence and stuff like that. When I found out about this, first thing I texted Mr. Google and Rigo, Raider gonna Raider. I don't think anyone's really like, if you're a Raider fan, um, Josh Jacobs is kind of he's not a slapdick. Like, there's 3 levels. Shout out Coach JB. There's 3 levels, right? There's the fuck stick, there's a slapdick, and then there's a shitbird. AJ Brown, shitbird. Tyreek Hill, shitbird. Right? Like, those, you kind of figure out the quality. The Kareem Hunt, shitbird. Uh, Who's the guy on the Chiefs, the receiver? Rashid Rice, shitbird. Like,
Yeah.
those guys that are just problems consistently, and they're drama, and they're always in the news for the wrong reasons. Shitbird. I don't think Josh Jacobs is a shitbird, but he's not a slapdick, right? Like, a slapdick's like, hey, I made an honest mistake, and then you never hear about it again. And then he's right in the middle. Like, when he was with the Raiders, there was always something in the offseason about him and a girl. Like, the guy's got like 6 baby mamas. Now, this is his first time being involved in a criminal, like an actual criminal domestic violence situation. So who knows what's going on, even if it's true or not. Um, but yeah, that's kind of my whole reason why I was telling these guys Raider gonna Raider. It's because he was always in the news for something, and every offseason when he was with the Raiders. So it doesn't surprise me it's happening now. Um, Obviously, I'm sure we'll find out some type of results of this. Like I said, it seems like, I think right now that county DA just kind of didn't drop, like, fully come out and say, hey, we're dismissing the charges or we're dropping them completely. Just kind of seems like they kind of want to see if they can gather more evidence before they pursue criminal charges. But I mean, what do you think the NFL is going to do about this? Because it seems like, obviously, they don't have, I don't want to call it a
Nothing.
zero. That that's kind of where I'm at. I feel like they
They're
don't
not
have it.
gonna do a damn thing.
It's they don't have a zero tolerance policy, but they also aren't going to just let people slide with this. But I feel like because there's no actual criminal charges or anything, I agree. I don't know if they're going to do anything. I kind of feel like they're going to just kind of like sweep it under the rug and hope no one brings it up again. Um,
Nope. And that's what's gonna happen when the season starts.
yeah, I think if you're Josh Jacobs, you got to be pretty happy that you're in fucking Green Bay because,
Raider man, that boy's gonna spend it the whole season.
yeah, if he was in Vegas, bro, like that's just, hey, that shit's on the news every. He's gonna be like pure, like he's gonna be like Mike Vrabel and fucking Dirty Diana, bro. Like, that shit's gonna be on the news every day. Um,
Yep.
I guess the last thing before, or if you have anything else after this, but obviously, Rigo's not a big basketball guy, but I do feel like, given we are in the NBA Finals, I do got to mention the finals. It's going to be the Knicks and the Spurs. It's like 1999 all over again. It's a rematch from back then. When they played each other last, Spurs won 4-1. I think 4 games to 1. So I think this series is gonna be really exciting. I think obviously it's all gonna be on Victor Wembanyama. If that guy lights it up, the Spurs should win. And I think if the Knicks can kind of limit him and just play team basketball like they have been, they're gonna be in a good spot. So NBA Finals would be really interesting to see how that goes. Now, off the rip, Rigo, obviously you have no knowledge in terms of who's on each team. If gun to your head, who you picking, Knicks or Spurs?
Knicks.
There you go. So there you go. Rigo's predictions: the Knicks. Um, I
Take it
think
to Vegas, baby.
I'm gonna go with the Spurs. I think the Spurs probably in 6 games. I think it should be a really good series. So, but there you go.
Knicks are
Just a
gonna
little.
sweep.
There you go. So Knicks in 4, and I got the Spurs in 6. Um, like I said, Rigo's not the most knowledgeable when it comes to basketball, especially if the Lakers aren't involved. So, just don't expect a whole lot of analysis from him. But I just, like I said, I feel like it's their Super Bowl, so I feel like I'd be kind of remiss to bring it up. So, anything else, Rigo? Am I missing or that I forgot to talk about?
Nothing off the top of my head, brother. Kind of GTGs, baby.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up.
All right, buddy. All right, thank you everybody for fucking tuning in on the 44 pod. I'm your host, Mr. Regoat himself, and that is my co-host, Mr. Hernia, aka Stay Herny. Thank you guys again for everything that you guys do for us. And with no further ado,
Oh,
we
I lied. I lied. I'm
what's up?
sorry. I lied. Well, it's a little video. I know it's got to relate to video games, so this will be pretty quick. Um, Number one, Madden 27 cover. Your guy Caleb Williams is on the cover. He's doing the Iceman.
Cursed, cursed,
Oh, ooh,
cursed.
that's brutal.
Fucked up.
That's brutal.
Shouldn't be on the
Um,
shouldn't be on the cover.
I was just say, what do you think about the pose? I think it's kind of fire. Like, obviously, they got to put one song from the Iceman album onto Madden now, right? Like,
OVO 6 God, baby. That's all I gotta say. He's
and
the
then
GOAT.
the other video game news. Now obviously you're not happy with this franchise, and you haven't been happy for a while. Um,
Call of Duty.
yeah. Did you watch the trailer at all? I know you're
Nah,
not really a
don't
big. I
even
was
care.
saying he's not a big campaign guy, so I didn't expect he would have, but I just had to ask just to do my due diligence. But all right. Yeah,
Don't
well,
even
we can
have an
wrap it up.
Xbox anymore.
Happens
Yeah, I sold my shit. But yeah, man. Thank you again, Hearn.
always.
We will catch you guys again on the next episode on the 44 pod. Stay tuned and don't forget to purchase your Perfon tee on www.perfon.com.
Perfon.com,
That's
baby.
PERFFON. Make sure you cop your shirt, fellas, because this is the
Yeah.
one and done. Next drop is another month and a half, so stay tuned for that. But
Yeah.
thank you guys again, and we are out. Peace.
All right.